It's true, folks. Amazon Prime is slowly shutting out all low-budget DIY independent filmmakers like myself and most of you. Now, if you already have a short film or a documentary on Amazon Prime, if you haven't noticed lately, you'll go to your video over there on the platform and realize that it's no longer available for free for Amazon Prime members. It is now a must rent or must buy. And I don't know about you, but I don't know too many people that are willing to spend $2 to rent a 5-minute short film. So this is a bummer. But if you don't have anything on Amazon Prime yet and you were hoping to, those doors are now closed. Amazon Prime has completely shut its doors to all documentaries and short films. I don't know if there's a budget limitation to that, or I'm sure there's still a backdoor way to get in depending on who you know, and that's just the reality of this business, right? But for people like myself and all of you, it's not looking good, right? And I think this is kind of Amazon's way of trying to level up a little bit. They got a few Oscars under their belt now, and especially with the recent Sound of Metal. So I think they're just trying to be a little bit more exclusive, kind of get to that Netflix status where, you know, Netflix, it demands it has to be 4K, and they even have a special Netflix approved list of cameras that they will only accept. So I think that's the way Amazon is going about it. Now, I saw this. I have 2 short films on Amazon Prime, and they've been on there since about 2017. And I looked at this and thought, well, you know, even when they were available for free for Amazon Prime members, they're really only bringing in maybe $1.50 a month max. And I just looked at it and thought, well, you know, I have a small following here on YouTube. I have a little bit of a platform. I'll just make these films available. So that's what we're doing today. This is the YouTube premiere of the short film that started it all for me back in 2016. There was no DogTimes Productions before we made You Have Arrived. Now, this is a proof of concept. I had about 75 pages of a feature film script that my wife, now wife, back then was my girlfriend, who helped me create this little feature film. We decided let's make a little proof of concept short film out of it. So basically, if you don't know what a proof of concept is, it's a way to present like a snippet of your feature to, you know, distributors or clients or big execs, big producers, people that have money, right? And they watch your little proof of concept and you're hoping that they'll go, yes, I love it, and they'll just fund your entire project. It's a little bit like trying to shoot at the moon, but you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, You Have Arrived did do pretty well, actually. Played at over half a dozen film festivals in that film festival circuit, played at the AMC Burbank right here in Los Angeles. It also played down at the Rock in Rio, the Rio de Janeiro Film Festival, so it actually did pretty well, all things considered. However, back then, I only knew acting. This was my first little project where I produced it, I directed it, my wife and I wrote it, I starred in it, right? So at the time I was an actor and had been since, you know, 2002. I was thinking like, this is my first little project. You know, that was kind of the wave back then, was like actors need to create their own content. And the previous year of 2015, I did pretty well. I had 3 national commercials that I booked. And so I had a little bit of money saved up, and I did what Robert Rodriguez said most new filmmakers do. I just sprayed the money hose at it.
You can get rid of the problem one of 2 ways. You can do it creatively, or you can wash it away with a money hose. You have no money, you got no hose.
So that's what I did. I spent quite a significant amount of money on this little You Have Arrived project. However, I'm glad that I did it because it got me to where I am today. Before then, I didn't know anything about cameras. Up to that point, all I had used was little Canon Vixia camcorders, or, you know, JVC VHSE camcorders if you go back to my skate days, right? So I didn't know anything about aperture or any of that stuff. And when I say aperture, I'm not talking about the company. I'm talking about literally the aperture, the f-stops, the t-stops on the lens, right? I didn't know anything about that stuff back when we made You Have Arrived. So it's kind of cool that that was literally the very first DogTimes Productions. That's what even provoked us to create DogTimes Production. Kind of was the beginning of the snowball effect to where we are today. And I wanted to do this intro because a lot of people ask me all the time, Justin, why don't you act anymore? And you know, the reality is I could sell all of my gear right here, right now today, because I still have my commercial agent representation. I still have my management team. I could just pick up right where I left off and go right back to my acting days. And not to mention, I still actually do book some acting jobs. Last year, at the beginning of the pandemic, March 2020, a feature film called ARI, My Robot Friend, released on Apple TV and Amazon Prime, of course, and other streaming platforms as well. And I actually play the voice of that lead character, ARI, the robot friend. I'm Artificial Robotic Intelligence Unit 9. And so I'll have a link to that down in the description below. It is just a full, wholesome family film. I haven't pursued acting on my own since 2017. But obviously, you know, if my agent or my manager send me a script or they ask me to go to an audition, I still do it. right? Because those are higher end opportunities. I just don't pursue acting jobs on my own. Because as a result of creating You Have Arrived, the following year we created another film, Wolf Game, which we will premiere here on the channel in the future weeks to come. All of that made me realize that my true passion lies on the other side of the camera. And I would have never got to that realization if I wouldn't have just made this little short right here, You Have Arrived.
Please be in here. I need that charger. Could've sworn. Fuck. Ah!
So what were y'all thinking when you pulled up and saw that old Washington sign out there?
That we would be in the real Washington, like as in the fucking state, like 3 hours ago.
Yeah, that GPS fucked up the whole trip.
Yeah, you can't trust those things, man.
That's exactly what Andrew said. Guess he was right.
You better hope he didn't just hear you admit that.
From the fucking car.
Nah, he didn't hear you.
Where the fuck is Katie? Does she have to use an outhouse or something? You have running water in here, don't you?
Maybe you should go check on her.
Yeah, maybe I should. For all we know, she's being chased by some axe murderer.
Ooh, that girl's a lightweight, huh? Sure is cute, though.
Yeah, thanks. She is cute.
Hey, man, I know it's like that. I didn't realize you two were an item. Yeah, it's probably because I don't get many visitors out here. It's just me and all the creepy backwoods people.
Yeah, weird place for a motel, hmm?
It's helping you at the moment, ain't it?
What?
I mean, that's what motels are for. To provide convenience to all the sad little lost travelers. You're in here sitting at my desk, using my computer, getting my directions. Doesn't seem like a very weird spot right now, does it? You know, your little buddy Andrew was right. You are a slave to technology, man. You've been glued to that goddamn box ever since you walked in here. You kids crack me up, man. You will do anything that those fucking computers and phones tell you to, won't you? Oh yeah. Look at you. Yeah. Yeah. That's a goddamn shame. But you know what? In the end, I'm glad it was you. It's almost as if the computer is your god. I wonder what that makes me. Welcome to Washington, Preston. Is it as beautiful as you thought it would be? What's the word, little bird?
fall in?